Peace, y'all. It's your boy ActionFiggySkinny here again with another quick hit review. And today we've got, for me, I don't even care about what y'all think right now at this point, but for me, one of my, and I say this a lot, this is not even anticipated, this is like highly number one needed figure to complete a team that I've always had a thing for, just because I have my boy Nightcrawler as the leader. We are talking about, of course, the Excalibur Phoenix Rachel Summers. About darn time. I won't swear so early into the video because I don't want this to get demonned, even though I'm not even really monned, but I am, but you know what I mean. Either way, Rachel Summers, y'all. We finally have her. Few things I love about this fig. The fact that it's Rachel Summers is what I love about this fig. Few things I dislike about this fig. Things that I will get into. But for now, this thing in box is looking really cool. We at least got two heads. You know what I mean? We didn't get two fists. That's cool. You know what I mean? Because there was a thing with the hands. At least that's what they were going to be told. But there was a thing with the extra hands that were supposed to come with this wave. I don't know. They were advertised, they were shown, and now we got something else. I've mentioned that before, all to say. Rachel Summers, y'all. We've got two head sculpts. We've got some effects that she has on the cover, Excalibur #1. We've got a gripping hand. We've got a fist hand. We've got some things. And without further ado, we about to see what's in this box. Cheer. For those of y'all that mind, the box looks like so, as you can see it on the front. Very detailed Excalibur logo. I have to get that made, 3D printed. Holler at me if you got that. Phoenix Rachel Summers on the front. The Excalibur comic book, because this is the mini comic book wave. The back has the other figures that are included in the wave, and the back reads, in Excalibur #1, the once mutant hunting hound from a dark alternate future, Phoenix Rachel Summers teams up with fellow former X-Men to stop Mojo's werewolves. That's cool. That's very, very cool. That's cool. And then you can read it in French, which I could, but my French is not that great. All to say, let's get into this thing. Chill. I mean, I just love how that happened on cue like that. All to say, let's do this. And here she is, straight out of the package, looking cool. I like the costume. I like the head sculpt, but seeing this leaves me wanting more a bit, and I'll get into that. I feel like this needed the updated body, just like Pharaoh before her. And just like Mystique I'm going to talk about, and just like Outback Storm that I'm also going to talk about, all of these need updated bodies. You know what I mean? Like, y'all just gave me a Marvel girl on an updated body in a costume that nobody really wanted, and everybody wants this, the Hound costume. So I just feel like, yeah, they could have given us that. You know, they could have given us a newer body on this, but otherwise, yeah, I'm quite happy. I would have liked the red to be a little bit more, not glossy, but just more, I could say, potent, as opposed to this more matte, dull red that they gave us for the Hound costume. I understand it's not supposed to be like, extravagant, because it was like a post-apocalyptic future that this was set in, this costume that it came from, but, I mean, I just feel like, yeah, could have used that. All to say, the head sculpt I really, really like. We're just going to bring her forward a bit. See what I'm saying? She's not going to stand right there, just because it's like towel. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. That's really, really nice. But I just feel like, yeah, she could use some butterfly joints. Everything. Ignore that. That was an alarm. So yeah, everything, like, goes flushed. The spikes don't really get in the way of anything, so they could have just easily given us butterfly joints with that. But aesthetically, this is cool. Just needed a newer body. All to say, paint wise, everything's good. Everything lines up. And then we'll get into the other head sculpt when we get into the accessories. which isn't very much, as we've talked about with these figs of this series, but they're greatly appreciated. So let's go ahead and get into those. Accessories. Accessories-wise, she doesn't really come with much. She comes with an alternate head sculpt. You just need that to focus a bit. That's of like her hound slash, more of, I guess, her phoenix power. That's kind of the look she had on the cover of Excalibur. Not quite really, but this is probably what I'll have her posed with on the shelf. Very cool. Same cowlick. Oh, same cowlick. Very cool. She comes with a fisted hand for the right, gripping hand for the left. She does come with her comic book cover of Excalibur #1. Very cool. And she comes with these. And they clip to her wrist. So let's show her with these. Go ahead and get that going. Here she is with the alternate head sculpt. We'll bring that closer to get that to focus. Looking cool. Very nice. And there she is with those wing effects. Brand new sculpts, I believe. And those work by I had to take her hands off and pull them out of the pegs, which wasn't quite too easy. That's one gripe I don't love about this body. I believe it's the same body as Kitty Pride that came in that 3-pack, and like the hands are just very easy to break. Like they can break very easily, so I'm not too down with really trying to, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. You have to be very careful. All to say, you have to take the hands out and like slide them up the wrist. It doesn't again affect any of the spikes, and none of them come off. So far so good. But I don't see myself posing her like this. Maybe actually, we'll see. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe if she's like in a flight position, but otherwise I feel like I won't be using these otherwise. But so far, yeah, this looks really, really cool. And then to get a better look at these, I like the translucent going from like a darker to a lighter. I feel like they could have stayed on orange a little bit before going right into yellow, but I mean, they did their thing. All to say, and let's see her with the fist and gripping hand. And there she is with the grippy and the fisty. Looking pretty cool. Accessory in her hand. Pretty simple. See what I mean? So yeah. Let's go ahead and get into articulation on this, and then we'll go ahead and go into comparisons. At which point I'll give into my final thoughts. We'll wrap this thing up real quick in a nice little air package. Alright. Be right back. Okay, so in terms of articulation, it's standard stuff that you've seen on this body that we've been messing with forever. Some of us wish it would go away, and yet it's still here somehow. So, yeah, here we go. The head does come on a disc hinge, so you do get a lot of up, as well as the down. Not much average, more crunch forward than the usual. Like, some of these don't really have any, and then the back is actually pretty good, weirdly, on this. And then arms go up with no kind of hindering from the spikes. They do a 360. Same on this side. Very wet. Thrown up quite a bit, as you guys can see. Sorry. Alright. You do get that T, but I still wish it had butterfly joints, because that would have been nice, right? Okay. Double jointed knees. with the no boot cut, because this is a bodysuit, but you have standard foot articulation on both sides. You get some tilt out of the neck, so it's standard. It's pretty good. As I mentioned about the hands on this, they are, at least the peg seems somewhat flimsy, so you got to be careful. And I have noticed that, like, yeah, once you put these on, you better be sure about that, because getting the hands off in order to slide that off is not easy. I'm already getting a second one of these just in case this breaks while I'm trying to do the whole, or I might actually have one just like with the wings on and one without the wings, and get a third just because it's too much of a hassle and this will break over time, especially for photos and when you're switching in and out. Not a good thing. So yeah, that's it for articulation. Standard stuff. But Rachel does look good, and I'm very much happy to have her, so that doesn't take too much away from the figure. All to say, let's go ahead and get into comparisons before we wrap this thing up. Okay, comparisons. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and compare it to this shoddy custom I had. Originally, I had bought off eBay years ago a Hound custom made with like spikes and everything on the very same body without double jointed arms, actually. And it was very poorly done. This is the head sculpt it came with. Nothing great. Since then, I've put her on that retro carded Dark Phoenix, because at some point Rachel did have a Phoenix costume of her own that looked like this, just in a darker red. So I find it, tried to see what that looks like, and here we are. So yeah, that's that comparison. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put her up against Mama, which is retro carded Marvel Girl herself. We're still waiting on the red suit, guys. So please give us the red suit version of this with, yeah, please, same body. Thanks. And this is what I'm talking about. Rachel could have had this body, same joints, would have looked great. One and done. Perfect. Right? But no. All the same. Next up, we're going to go ahead and compare it next to Feral, who I just recently reviewed before. This is a wave mate of hers. To kind of see what those two look like next to each other. Pretty cool. Next up, we're gonna put her up against Papa, Scott Summers himself. You know what I mean? Looking cool, looking great. Gonna throw her up against Mystique, who I might review next, I'm not sure. Or maybe Cyclops in that Marvel Girl 2-pack. Next up, we have Wolf's Bane, which I feel like we need an update already. We definitely need an update on this Domino. That's what it look like too. So we're going to have all these 90s X-Men on the same shelf. It's going to look great. Next up, we have the first retro carded Black Suit Storm. This is based on the Jim Lee suit. Still waiting on that silver version. But yeah, Storm looking good and great. She can't really stand though. That's the problem with her. She's top heavy or head heavy. So that just kind of like spoils it. But yeah, that's what she looks like. And then we got lastly, well not lastly, little brother Cable. Next to Big Sis. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? And then last, but definitely not least, I'm going to put Cable over there. Put her up against the big man. The big man. Juggernaut. Of course, he looks good with anybody. So, yeah, cool. Alright. Final thoughts time. Final thoughts. I like this figure, even though I wanted her to have a newer body. I like the effects. I like the head sculpts. I like the articulation despite the body. Don't really love the paint. I mean, I like the paint, but I don't really love the color they chose. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give this, because of want and need to completing Excalibur, and the fact that she does complete Excalibur, except for we're missing, like, Megan in her proper costume and so on. She's in a version of it, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8. Nope, 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Loses points for not just giving us an updated body. Because with the next review, you're going to see it has the updated body, even though it's a figure that kind of originated it, but still it's just like, anyways, you'll see. So 7.5 out of 10. And if you guys like this review, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share this with all your friends, share this with everybody. Tell everybody about this channel because I'm trying to get this thing to grow. You know what I'm saying. And until then, I'd be dropping these reviews, you know, when figs are up and when I'm getting stuff. So not like daily, not like weekly, but you'll see a spike and it'll come back and so on and so forth. But all to say, I like doing this stuff. I'm doing it for fun. And yeah, I enjoy sharing my reviews on these toys with y'all. So if you like this stuff, please come back. Please go ahead and watch my other reviews. And until next time, peace. I'm trying to get that peace to line up. Peace. There it is. All right. Peace, y'all. Take care.